So for the record, Len, have you ever denounced the communists?
To begin with, why
I mean,
why should
the
I?
atrocities, because that is what
the atrocities.
harping at, no?
Yeah.
Have you ever actually come up with an article also that's critical of the CPP-NPA? I guess that's a question.
If there are stories that we
it a
will
yes or
have
a
the
no?
chance of covering, why
Is it a
not?
yes or a no?
It's not
because
our
that's
job
a
to
if.
denounce any
It's a
group.
no.
Yeah.
We
It's a no.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
she's asking if
Just
we
for the
have
record, then it's a
reports,
no,
Okay,
right?
if we have reports
I think that's-
about atrocities committed by the NPA.
Because
That's
I
what
think
she's
it's
asking.
Why is that
Yeah,
hard
it's
to
a
say,
fair
you
question.
Why is that so
yeah.
hard?
all
For the
denounce,
past,
but
You don't have to
10
denounce,
years
just,
or more than
just
15 years.
report about
But for me to
atrocities
anchor
committed.
whether or not they are associated with
that's
one
what she's
group
asking.
on the premise of whether or not a denunciation has been made is
No,
a
it's
bit
not a denunciation,
of a-
it's reporting. That's what she's
yeah,
asking.
it's just reporting.
Yeah, but she's asking me to
report one
denounce
part
it.
and you
Ah,
report
no,
That there
another
are two
part.
different
Ed,
things.
I
It
just
goes
don't
off
want.
track.
I just don't want talaga a reporting. I want a very clear and unequivocal denunciation of the human rights violations of the CPP-NPA. How hard is that? Yeah. How hard is that? And I want that. I want that because I have
Okay.
valid information about how the CPP-NPA works and their above-ground organizations.
Well, the reason also
Yeah.
why media does not denounce that in general is
Yeah.
because they're not government.
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not.
yeah.
And
And
what they
media-
do
Yeah, but
is
Luch-
what they do, and
Yes,
we cannot
correct,
help
correct.
that. But
Correct.
government,
I
we
want-
will
no, no,
denounce.
let me-
But
correct.
if we
But-
are critical of
yeah,
the human rights
violation.
violations of the
Yeah,
Okay, okay,
but media as a whole is not suspect by government as part of the CPP-NPA. That's why. But if I ask you now, Luchi, do you denounce the atrocities being done by the CPP-NPA against, for instance, the
Absolutely,
indigenous?
if
There you
they're
go.
true.
Okay.
Yes.
If
Yes.
It's so
Okay.
easy.
But,
Yeah.
but if
Okay,
we're
let's
going to
take
talk
it
about
from-
press
And yeah.
freedom, shouldn't we limit it to not to whether or not you denounce the CPP-NPA, but whether or not press freedom is alive and kicking, and whether we respect the freedom of the press. I think it has little
That's
to
the
do
meaning.
has little to do with whether or not you denounce this group or that group, and therefore
No,
to
because-
make that
No,
association
yeah.
is misleading.
Let's
No,
take
because
it from
Ed-
wait.
okay.
Let me try to let's take it from where things have been said in this table, in this discussion.
all right.
You asked a question to Len. I agree. It's a fair question. Len answered. But the question is, if government doesn't like the answer or the non-answer, does that automatically make them enemies of the state?
I'll give you a nuanced answer.
Yeah.
The nuanced answer is that there's a bigger thing going on, a thing that's bigger than us, and you don't want to talk about it, but I need to talk about it, Robbie, because it's really part of the picture. It's the insurgency problem.
Yeah.
And
Let me
of
just
which-
clarify.
yeah,
We
all right.
didn't say we didn't want to talk about it. We're just
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
we have
yeah.
limited time.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
ano,
Just trying to stay
we're-
focused.
And you know,
Yeah.
we know
Yeah.
what you've said what you want to say. Nobody's disputed it,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
so we said let's try to get back on topic.
Okay. And okay, I don't speak as not just as PCOO, but also as NTF-LCAC, okay, the National Task Force. And because I'm here, I'm privy to a lot of things now that I wasn't privy to before, and the pieces are getting, they're forming a bigger picture. One of which is that media is really owned, not naman owned, okay. One of the biggest strengths of the CPP-NPA, okay, it's a mass-based organization and their propaganda machine. And it's really amazing when you see the whole picture, like I do when you go outside the country and you see how they do it here, diba? So in other words, all of these things, I mean, I don't even know where they get these numbers, no, about the president, and maybe all these talagang outright lies about the president and the way they talk about the president, a butcher, a dictator, and yet he's so popular. Why is that? No, he's beloved by the Filipino people. And I go down on the ground because I'm head of the poverty cluster, the communications, and I really do see that lives are getting better. Okay, so. And yet, NUJP, NUPL, all these umbrella organizations that Concha Araneta says is under the CPP-NPA, the terrorist groups, will tell you all of these nasty things about the president, and you don't know where it comes from. And it's escalated to the international media. So that's the whole picture that I see. Diba? And they've been suing us left and right. I'm one of the respondents ng NUPL, I don't know, NUJP, basta ang dami na talaga. But all the time, no merit, lack of merit, it's thrown out. And when they go to court, and it's thrown out because it's, number one, lack of merit, and number two, they don't really prepare. I mean, it's sloppy legal work. And yet when they go out of the court, media is there, diba? And that's where they're very prepared. So it's really not to sue us and to really further their cause, no, that they really feel that they're aggrieved, but because of a bigger agenda, diba? Which is to paint a really terrible picture about the president, about our country, which is patently and really false at a time in our lives as a nation when we're doing really well.